Alright guys, so we are now back. Welcome to part 2 of my martial law tutorial series. Today we're going to learn about Law's most important pokes. Since Law's character archetype defines him to be very poke intensive, Law's game plan will revolve around chipping his opponents down with these pokes. Well, alright, I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so sit back and enjoy the video. Okay guys, so I'm just going to start with Law's down forward 1. This is a good 13 frame down forward 1, which is Law's main mid poke. This is the tool that will set up most of Law's offense. Well, on hit, this puts Law at a good +5, so you can pretty much do anything you want to continue the pressure. You can do something like down forward 1 to down back 3, or down forward 1 into back 4 to track the sidesteppers, or down forward 1 into down forward 2 if they want to press buttons. Or you could try something like down forward 1 to a grab. Whoops, that grab is kind of short range, so you want to try something like forward 4 3 4. Okay, so on block, this only leaves Law at -1, so you're still pretty much good. Remember that when you're at -1, only their jabs will beat your jabs, because they start 1 frame earlier. For example, I'm going to make the dummy do a down forward 1 into a jab. Like that. And then what I'm going to try to do is to jab after blocking the down forward 1. You can see now that if I try to jab, is that my jab always comes out first before the dummy's jab. But if I try anything slower, such as a 12 frame move like a 3-4, I lose. I get beaten out by the jab. Or if I try an 11 frame move, such as Magic 4, the jab trades with my Magic 4. Well, if the opponent likes to jab or do any kind of fast highs like Magic 4s, you can always try to step after down forward 1. So I will now make the dummy do a down forward 1 into a sidewalk right. Because this direction is Law's weak side, by the way. So I will now try to do jabs after blocking that down forward 1. So you can see I miss. Do that again. There. You can see if I also do Magic 4s, they miss too. Or if I try to do down forward 1, I miss. And the dummy could do pretty much anything to punish me. Okay, so let's now get into Law's arguably best low poke, which is down back 3. This comes out at 17 frames, and on hit, it puts Law at +4 to make a down forward 1 uninterruptible. You can do this into this. On counter hit, seems like the best move to do is another down back 3. This move also has some pretty reliable tracking to both sides. Well, to test that, I'm going to make the dummy do a jab into a down back 3, and then I'm going to try to step. So let me record for a bit. Okay, so first I'm going to try to sidestep right. See that it tracks me. Then I'm going to try to sidewalk right. It still tracks me. Then I'm going to try to sidestep left. Wait, there. It still tracks me. And then I'm going to try to sidewalk left. Also, this is not very bad on block at only -12. So don't worry about getting launched by 13 frame launchers like Kazuya's wall standing 1-2. Josie's wall standing 2-1, and Eddie's wall standing 1-3. Okay guys, so the next move on the list is a wall standing 4. I know that we have already talked about wall standing 4 as an 11 frame wall standing punisher, but this move is actually a really good mid poke from crouch. On block it's only -4 and it puts Law at a safe distance away to make the jab swift. Okay guys, so I've also mentioned that it's also possible to go into DSS from wall standing 4 in the previous video. You do that by doing back forward after wall standing 4. Just like that. I mean back forward forward, sorry. Well, I'd like to get into that again now, because going into DSS is not only good after a successful punish, it's also good after getting a while standing for block. For example, I'm gonna make a dummy block, and then I'm gonna do stuff like while standing for DSS1. If you do this perfectly, they can't do anything to interrupt the DSS1. Or you can do while standing for DSS2, which is also uninterruptible if you do it perfectly. Or even while standing for DSS3+4, if they ever want to duck DSS2. Okay, so to demonstrate these frame traps in action, I've actually recorded these with the dummy. Well, first is while standing 4 into DSS14. I'm gonna try to jab after blocking the while standing 4, see what happens. I'm unable to interrupt the DSS1. But however, I could still duck. Okay, so next I'm gonna try while standing 4 into DSS2. So I'm gonna do the same thing, which is I'm gonna jab after blocking the while standing 4. The hit's straight, but I still get launched. I'd also like to point out that if you land while standing 4 as a counter hit, you can make stuff like while standing 4 in DSS1 as natural combos. For example, I'm going to show you that right now. So I'm going to set player attacks to counter hit, and then CPU action number 2 into guard off. Now I'm going to do while standing 4 into DSS1. See, that's entirely counter hit. And also, it also applies to while standing 4 into DSS2. This works very good when you're at the wall because it wall splats. And also while standing 4 into DSS 3+4. This is very good because it gives you a nice combo. With this, you're gonna have to practice while standing 4 into DSS very much. Because I believe that this is the hardest DSS transition that you could ever do with Law. Whoops, see, I failed there. But this is very much worth it in the long run, because you could do a lot of stuff with it. Whoops. See, that one too is guaranteed while standing 4 into DSS forward 1, but it's very hard to do. I still mess it up sometimes. See. Let me try it again. See, I suck. Yeah, okay, I got it there. Okay, so the next move or moves which I'm gonna get into are lost 1-2 jab strings. Remember that we already talked about 1-1-2 as a 10 frame punisher. Well, you could actually do the 1 up to 4 times before pressing the 2. For example, note that if you repeat the 1 up to 5 times, you won't be able to do the 2. But out of all of these, the most useful one is just a plain old 1-2. Because they aren't able to duck the second hit, unlike the 1-1-2. For example, I'm going to make the dummy do 1-1-2. And as you can see, I can duck the second hit. And I can launch too. But if I just try a 1-2, no matter how hard I try, I am forced to block the second hit. And I also forgot to tell you about the 2 after the 1 being only at -1 on block. So it's pretty much the same logic like block down forward 1. This is -1, this is -1, sorry, this is -1, that's -1. Okay, so you can also enter DSS by doing back forward every time after pressing the 2. For example, 1-2 DSS, 1-1-2 DSS, 1-1-1-2 DSS. Okay, so you get the point. But on block, this is only useful when your opponent doesn't press anything, because they can interrupt any DSS move when they do. That is when the extensions 1-2-2-2 and 1-2-2-1+2 become useful, because they condition the opponent to not want to press buttons after blocking 1-2, so that you're able to use 1-2 into DSS without getting interrupted by the opponent. Note that the 1-2-2-2 ends with a high, and the 1-2-2-1+2 ends with a mid. You could also enter DSS after the 1-2-2-2 by doing back forward after the move. But this is only usable after hitting them with 1-2-2-2, because they can pretty much interrupt any DSS move after blocking the 1-2-2-2. And then there's also 1-2-3, which jails completely on block. This is more of a 10 frame counter hit while splatting string. For example, you can frame trap them. You can frame trap them at the wall. And this is guaranteed entirely if it's counter hit. Then at the wall, you get a wall splat, and then you can do a wall combo. And you can also do a fake flip after the 1-2 by doing 1-2 up forward 3, but I don't want to talk about this right now because the fake flip is a separate move. So the next move, which is in my opinion Lost's next best low poke behind down back 3, is down 4-3. As you can see, this gives a really good pushback on hit. And if I'm at the wall, the pushback is completely nullified. And because of the hit stun, the opponent might think that this move is very plus on hit. So they may try to respect and not press any buttons after getting hit by this, when it's really neutral or 0 on hit. Being at 0 frames means that if they try to jab and then you also try a jab, both of your jabs will trade hits. So let me demonstrate that right now. I'm going to make the dummy do a down 4-3 and then do a jab, and then I'm also going to try to jab after getting hit by the down 4-3. As you can see, both of the jabs trade. Let me try that again. You can also do only the first hit of down 4-3, which is down 4. Use down 4 if you want to stay close to your opponent, because it doesn't cause a pushback unlike down 4-3. This, by the way, is also neutral on hit, so you can pretty much frame trap your opponent with stuff like down 4 into magic 4. But remember that the magic 4 will lose the jabs. Or you can do something like down 4 into 1-2-3, so that the 1-2-3 will only trade with jabs. The first hit of 1-2-3, I mean. Okay, so the next move is down back 2. This move is 14 frame elbow, which puts law in back turn. On hit, you can do some nice back turn mix-ups. Stuff like that. Stuff like this. And also remember that this move is an elbow, which means that it couldn't be parried. So I will show you that right now. So I'll try to parry that. As you can see, I still get hit, even though I'm parrying. Well, except for characters like Jin, which I believe has the best parry in the game, he can parry elbows. For example, just like that. And also, how could I forget about these? If you hit them with down back 2, remember that a back turn 2 becomes a frame trap counter hit launcher. So let me show you that right now. So I just made the dummy do a down back 2 into a back turn 2. What I'm going to do is try to press buttons after getting hit by down back 2. Whoops. I started getting hit. You see what happens now? There. If I try to press buttons after getting hit by the down back 2, I get launched. But this only happens when the down back 2 hits. On block, I can pretty much interrupt with stuff like that. And that. I'll try to make a separate video about Lost back turn game later. And also remember that a down back 2 has a low crushing extension and down back 2 4. You can use this if they like doing low pokes or down jabs after down back 2. For example, like this. So I just tried to low jab and see what happened. Another good mid poke I'd like to talk about is back 4. This is similar to down back 2, being also at 14 frames fast, and it's also able to enter back turn by holding back after doing back 4, just like that. But it leaves Law a lot closer to the opponent than down back 2. See, this one ends far, and this one ends close. While down back 2 is an elbow, back 4 is a homing move instead. Now you can see those white sparkles around the move. That verifies that this is a homing move. So I'm gonna make this dummy Law sidestep after blocking a jab. As you can see, it's already been set. Action 1 is set to guard all, and then action number 2 is set to sidewalk right. So I'm gonna do a jab and then do a back 4 after the jab. As you can see, the back 4 tracks the dummy Law when he tries to step. Then let me test that when he tries to step the other way. As you can see, it still tracks. On block, note that this is -7 if you don't go into back turn, so your turn is pretty much over. But there's a chance that the opponent might not press any buttons because of the threat of the second hit. This is done by doing back 4 free. But note that the second hit is a duckable high. So, oops, let me try that again. Just like that. So you may find them trying to duck after blocking the back 4. If they're ducking, you can only try doing the first hit and then enter back turn for a mix-up. Just like that. Just don't do the second hit. Only do the first hit. And also, when at the wall, this also happens to be Law's fastest wall splatting mid. So you can try and wall splat them whenever they want to step or duck at the wall. The next move is back 2. This is a 16 frame long range mid poke, which is also the first hit of Law's junkyard kick. Note that this is -7 on block, but the opponents may not press buttons because they could get launched by the junkyard. For example, like this. But most decent players will try and parry the second hit of junkyard. And by the way, this tracks to Law's left side. For example, I'm gonna make the dummy block the first hit and then try to sidewalk right after blocking. So I'm gonna do a jab and then a back 2. As you can see, it tracks. And then there's also back 2-1. This is a natural combo, but the second hit is duckable if they block the first hit. For example, like this. Whoa, come on. Stand up. Just like that. But if the second hit is not ducked, this is only at -1 on block. So it's pretty much the same situation like a block down forward 1. And remember that this also screws on hit. Oops, let me try that again. Just like that. So if you're at the wall, it could be used to splat opponents. Another move is back 2-2, but I hardly use this move at all because you can pretty much do 3+4-4 to whiff punish anyway. But if you ever use this, note that you can enter DSS by doing back forward after the move. For example, like that. And remember, the DSS is only usable after hitting the back 2-2. If the back 2-2 gets blocked, they can pretty much interrupt every DSS option. So there is also back 1. Like back 2, this is also a long-range mid-poke, but with a slightly less range. But it comes out at 14 frames and tracks to the right, which is the opposite side of where back 2 tracks to. To show this, I'm gonna make the dummy do a jab and then a back one. And then I will try to step to the left. As you can see, it still tracks me. When I step to the right, it whiffs. You might also find opponents freezing up after back one. This is because of the existence of the extension back 1-2-2. Kinda like Junkyard, this is also very delayable. As you can see, I can delay this very much. This is the normal speed, and this is delayed. And I could also enter DSS from the first hit by doing back forward, and also from the second hit by also doing back forward. So in order to use the DSS transitions back 1 into DSS and back 1-2 into DSS, you're gonna have to make them not want to press any buttons after the back 1 and the back 1-2. That's when you want to use back 1-2-2 in order for you to use back 1-2 into DSS. And also the same thing applies. You want to use first back 1-2 so that you can use back 1 into DSS. Okay, so the next move is the banana peel down forward 3+4. This is a nice and seeable high crushing low poke, which puts Law at a good +4 on hit. And it also puts both players into crouch. You can think of this move like Fang's down back 3. And because this is at +4 on hit, this makes a while standing 1 follow-up become uninterruptible. But note that when they're on the player 2's side, they can step to the background to avoid the while standing 1. For example, like this. This happens because the while standing 1 tracks to Law's right. In this case, you can do the while standing 2, you can do the while standing 2 because it tracks to Law's left. But the while standing 2 is dangerous because it's launch punishable. So after hitting them with banana peel, if they just want to back away and respect the plus frames, for example like this, a slide mix-up is a good thing to attempt. However, the banana peel has very weak tracking. So you can see I'm going to make the dummy do a jab and then a banana peel. And I'm able to step both ways. Just like that. Whoops. And it's also launch punishable on block. So the next move is going to be wall standing 1+2. This mid poke from crouch is used like wall standing 4, but it's slightly faster because the startup frames lie somewhere in between 10 and 11 frames. You can think of this move being at 10.5 frames to be more precise. But wall standing 4 definitely has more range than this. So you can see from this range, I'm able to hit, but when I try wall standing 1+2, it whiffs. Okay, so one important thing to note about wall standing 1+2 is that when you try doing this move while Law is in rage, you're gonna get a rage art instead. For example, I'm gonna put Law in rage right now and then do a wall standing 1+2 and see what happens. There you go. So the way you want to avoid getting a rage art is by doing a while standing into forward 1+2. Like this. Whoops. You can also try doing a while standing into a back 1+2. It also works. Okay, so the next move is down 1. Down 1 is another high crushing low poke which puts Law at +1 on hit, and it also puts him in crouch. This makes a while standing 4 follow-up only trade with down jabs. Okay, so I'm gonna make the dummy do a while standing 4 right after a down 1. And then I'm gonna try to interrupt with a down jab and see what happens. As you can see, they trade hits. And I would also like to mention that down 1 has a high extension, which is down 1 free. But note that down 1 free is only a natural combo on counter hit. On normal hit, they can block the second hit. Or even worse, they can duck the second hit, even if the first hit hits. You can also use this to wall splat people at the wall, like this. So here's an example setup which I want to show you guys. The idea is you want to use a move which is only slightly minus on block. For example, a 4-up free. This move is only -1 on block, so you can use this to bait them out into punishing with high strings. Such as in Lost case, 1, 2, and 4 free are high strings. And that's when you use a down 1 free to crush your highs. Okay, so I'm gonna make the dummy law do 4-up free into down 1 free. And now with the other law, I'm going to try to punish the 4-up free with 1, 2. As you can see, I got wall splatted there. Let me try again. There. Now when I try 4 free, it's the same result. And that's an example setup on how to use counter hit down 1 free. Okay guys, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Of course, stay tuned for more videos about martial law. If you like what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe. Thank you.